beginning, intermediate, doesn't matter where you are, but we're gonna get started with a simple warm-up. And we're gonna go over 10 basic strikes so you can pick up a cane and start any kind of walking cane, self-defense cane. It can be a cane master's cane like this, but you're gonna be able to pick it up and start to defend yourself with it from the first time you have it. Going around in this motion is going to start to build some callus in your hand. It's gonna get the blood flowing, get your stomach up and in, shoulders back, pull your chin down. We're gonna move around for about 30 seconds, just spinning here. The long side of the cane comes out of the thumb, the palm is facing the sky. And this type of spinning is a warm-up spin. This is a warm-up spin and not necessarily a striking or self-defense spin. You're gonna use this to get the blood flowing through the joints, stay safe from injury in this workout. Bring your hand over and back as you continue to warm up, your stomach up and in. You want to try to keep this tight. All I'm doing here is slapping across the face, backhand the other way. 1, 2, the hand goes down, the palm faces the sky. Palm down, palm up, bring it together. You've got a figure 8 spinning motion using, again, your palm on the crook or the hook of the cane, and the grip is not squeezing, it's loose and closed at the same time. You're gonna bring this around and back, side to side, slow as smooth, smooth as fast, especially when you're starting. You wanna take your time. And Danelle says, good morning to everybody. We're just working out together. I wanted to make this video today as a cane self-defense training video and not really talk about theory or anything other than what's gonna work to help you get started when you wanna use a cane for self-defense. So this is cane self-defense, basics, 10 strikes that you can do with your walking cane for self-defense using any kind of medical device, any type of cane that has the crook like this. Good morning, Richard. This type of training with your palm here, using a cane master's cane, the difference in these canes is that this is gonna be opened and a little bit wider than a store-bought cane or a regular cane you might get at CVS or online at Amazon. I put the link below if you want to see what a dojo training cane made in oak. That's exactly what this is. It has a really nice weight. You oil it up. It lasts forever. You can use it for everyday cane use, everyday carry, as a walking cane and as a self-defense option. When you want to learn cane self-defense, get yourself a dojo training cane from Cane Masters. I used to say go and get the cheap one, but I like this better because the others break so fast that you end up spending more buying the inexpensive cane than you would if you just invested a couple of dollars more, and it's really not that expensive. And Justin says, good morning, Justin. You're just gonna bring it over and back. I brought the chair out so that you can see that all of the motions you do while you're standing, you can also do while you're seated. Pull your stomach up and in, drop your chin, pull it back a little bit, abs tight, breathe. Put the other hand here or here, and then bring it across and back. I've only given myself a little bit of space here, but it still works. You can do it in one side, and you can do it on the other side. We're gonna switch hands here, continue with the warm-up. Good morning, Peter. Good morning to everybody who's here, who's bringing it around. This is our live training today for the cane self-defense. When you do your cane self-defense training, I like to do it every single day. Bring it over and back, and just a little every day. If you do a little bit of cane self-defense training every single day, you're gonna find that your mobility is going to increase, your flexibility is gonna increase, you're gonna get stronger, and you're gonna build more endurance while you're also learning today the 10 self-defense strikes using a walking cane. You're gonna go over and back. Doing this motion forces you to engage the core. Now in the last video I did, I talked a little bit about how I see spinning. I see this type of spinning when your palm is in the crook, whether it's this way, over and back, even doing some of the more fancy spinning moves like this, bringing it back. I see this type of cane spinning as a warm-up move. It's very important. It's good for conditioning the hands, conditioning the joints, the body, the heart and the lungs. It's good for your overall fitness. It teaches proprioception, situational awareness. We're going over and over. See, Deshaun asked, do I know who Scott Adkins is? Yes, he's an actor. I think recently he was in that Ip Man 4 movie, played one of the bad guys, fought Bruce Lee. But yeah, the guy's in good shape, going back and forth, and a serious martial artist. I think he's also a serious martial artist. The other non-Ip Man, non-Bruce Lee martial artist in that movie is also a great martial artist, Ip Man Ford. So come back out. I'm doing this spin. Now there's a difference between what I would call spinning and for here, Deshaun asked who's my favorite actor. I'm just gonna say John Wayne. I know he didn't do martial arts unless you count punching people as martial arts and all of the fancy cowboy work. That's just my, I know he's not around anymore, but either is Bruce Lee. That's just me. Favorite martial arts actor, I'm gonna have to say, I always like Jackie Chan. He's got a funny sense of humor, doesn't take himself too seriously, and he is extremely skilled. I mean, he comes from wushu, from the like Chinese opera kind of stuff. Now, this is a different kind of spinning, and I want you to learn how to do this too. This is going to increase flexibility in your wrist. And some people, if you look at this, this is similar to moves that you could do with a short sword or a long sword, any kind of sword, saber. You can do it with a Japanese katana, but that's not traditional. You can do it, think about lightsabers, like Ray Park in the, played Darth Maul, the double-bladed lightsaber. So you can do that kind of spinning. You can also do this, you see this, it's very popular in Filipino martial arts with the kali stick or the eskrima stick, the arnis stick, and doing these spins starts to build speed, strength, power in your wrist, gets the flexibility going, gets the blood in there, keep it safe from injury. You start to go over and back, and with a kali stick, which is not made of oak, it's made of a lightweight grass called rattan, and sometimes bamboo. But a rattan kali stick and a eskrima stick, a baston, however you want to call it, those are lightweight materials. Let me grab one real quick. I forgot to take you with me yesterday. I'm going to bring you with me. Oh, you know what? I moved all of the kali sticks away. Let me grab one of the practice kali sticks. We had a big camp here last week. Last week I didn't want to leave all of my weapons just because they were in the way. So I put them away. If they're back there, I'll get those later. But you can look up one of my kali videos. And it's a stick about this size. You look at the length, comes in here. And some people will say, well, you know, the cane is simply a kali stick with a little bit. Richard, I don't have kata for the cane, but I teach patterns of strikes with the cane. I'll try to show you one of those today that you can do and use as a kata or pumse, however you want to say it, to get more practice in. So like the eskrima is, so I'm a little more than 6 feet. I would say get the average size. I think it's about 28 inches. If you go from the fingertip, this one's a little bit shorter, goes into about the middle of my shoulder joint, or the ball of that shoulder joint, or into the armpit. Think of it that way. And then you're gonna choke up a little bit on the bottom, that's so you can strike. You're gonna use that to grab, strip the weapon, and then the strikes with the kali stick, and then adding the spin to the strike, and as you come through, adds more value to the strike. Now that's not gonna be the same with your oak or hickory, heavier wood, unless you're using I have a rattan kali stick, or a rattan cane, but that's not really great for a heavier individual. That's just really good for practicing in the dojo or practicing your cane moves. So I'm gonna say yes, do these spins, and I'm gonna say, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I'm not always right. I've never been right my whole life, not always right. There's no way, no one is. Anybody who says they are is a liar. Don't believe them. You're never always right. There's always room to learn more. But what I'm gonna say is, I can use this strike, we're doing this strike today, and that's a very effective strike, and that comes from kali, eskrima, arnis, all of these basic angles that we do. You're also gonna find in other martial arts with sword, like the short sword, the sabers, Chinese styles. You're gonna find it in a lot of, if you're using a machete, the Indonesian fighting styles, or Filipino fighting styles, you're gonna do a lot of the same motions with your walking cane. However, when I spin, I'm still gonna say, whether it's the palm spin through the crook with your hand light and open, or the closed hand spinning this way like you would, I'm gonna do this because of the weight with This stick, I'm not going to use it for strikes. I'm just not. I don't think that this is as effective with a heavy oak cane as standing in this position and waiting and then striking, or standing here and striking and striking. So in other words, I'm not going to allow them to time my moves. This is not a collie stick. It would seem like, yeah, that's the same exact thing. The collie sticks, you would use those spins. You would add the spin to add speed, and it would be very effective. Apply it to the cane, but it's a different weapon. It's a different length. It's a different weight. It's a different material. And I'm going to say, in my opinion, I think it's a little bit different. Let's get right into those 10 strikes. 10 strikes you're going to learn for self-defense using your walking cane, or in this case, your self-defense cane from Cane Masters. Check out the link below if you want one. They're very, I'd say, high value, affordable, not a very high priced. So if you add, yeah, you said it's your comment was, it's collie stick in slow motion. Yes, and I want my collie stick in as fast as I can get it for self-defense. So from here, I'm going to favor thrusting motions, simple strikes, right? Simple strikes, and not necessarily adding. I can, but it's like in traditional martial arts, and like Taekwondo especially. You can do spinning kicks, like a spin roundhouse kick, what they call a tornado kick, spin crescent kicks, jump spin kicks. And you can do those techniques if the opponent you're fighting is not as skilled, or if you're that much better, or if they're also doing the same types of things, and it's like a dance going back and forth. But in a street fight for self-defense, you don't want to spin, jump, do all of those things unless you are far superior in skill, speed, power, everything, than the opponent, especially if you don't know if they have a knife or not. You don't want to be out there doing fancy techniques and then, have them catch your foot, knock you to the ground, which is what you would do if someone did a jump spin kick on you, and the rules are not the rules of the ring. The rules are the rules of the street. There are no rules. Defend yourself. Go home alive. Don't get cut up as much as possible. So in that case, I'm going to be in this position, and I'm going to thrust first, or I'm going to thrust here, maybe go for the knee, and I'm going to keep it super simple. I want you to keep it simple too. And at the same time, and I might be lacking insight. That was a comment that I got recently saying that I maybe was lacking some insight about the skill and the ability. And I think there was some reference in another comment about like the Dog Brothers. And if you know anything about the Dog Brothers, I'm a big fan of all of the people who stress test any style of martial arts training. Stress test means see if it works or not, right? Have somebody really come at you, see if it's really effective. Don't just stay in the theoretical plane, in the flat plane. Get and do it in an area where you're outside, or you're in the between two buildings, or you're stuck in the hallway, or you're sitting in a chair, or you're sitting in your car, you got to come out and the guy's trying to push in. Test all of these things that we're doing against that and see if it's very effective, or if it's just looks really good on camera, right? And like I said, I'm always open to change. I could be wrong, and when I am, I will say, hey, I was wrong. I said this before. Let's try this. Try something new. All right. Yeah, we all do. The comment was we all lack something somewhere. Absolutely, we do. That's the beauty of life. There's always more to learn. So stay open to it. Keep growing. Keep training. Let's go into the first strike, and I like to do from this position first. For me, it comes the easiest. It's the most simple. For me, from here, I'm going to put my weight here. I want you to step in. Put the weight on the cane. I want you to step in. Put the weight on the cane. You can step back also, or you can step in. Either way, whichever hand has the cane, that hand stays between you and the threat, which is going to be right there when I'm facing this way. So I'm either stepping back or I'm stepping in. When I'm stepping in or back, I'm also going to make my body a smaller target. That's the first thing you want to do. You want to get into a better position. Now from here, I'm going to have you thrust just like you were Errol Flynn. If you're old enough to know who Errol Flynn was, if you were any type of sword fighter, Robin Hood himself, you go straight in, straight. Think about fencing, right? Boom. That's why in fencing, there are 3 styles of sword in fencing, but the foil, the fastest, is the absolute fastest, right? And it's just this quick boom, boom. And then there's also a lunge with it, right? You're moving your body through the target. So this is a very fast, effective, powerful strike for self-defense. So the first thing we're going to have you practice in this position, Get in a better position, step forward or back. The cane is between you and the threat, and you're going to thrust. Thrust first with just your arm, thrust with your arm, and then lunge. Lunge. And if you get the lunge down, moving the front foot forward, move the back foot forward too, and you're going to go even more through your target. Number one is the lunge. Number two, or thrust and lunge. Number two, you're in that better position, and I'm going to show you in the way. We're going to do all 10 strikes, but we're going to build upon the first one and then add another one. We're going to add them so you have a 10 striking combination to practice like a kata. If a kata makes sense to you, kata just means pattern or form or choreography. If you want to put it together and practice over and over and over again, I want you to do both sides. King Hinchy asked, what's my favorite fighting style? I'm going to have to say I love Western boxing. I also absolutely adore Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for its technical expertise. I love Judo, which was my first martial art. I love Taekwondo, the old style, because of all of the kicks and the cool things that you do with the kicks. I love Shotokan karate for the intricacy of the punches. I love Kyokushin because Masoyama used to just grab the bull by the horn and crack his head open with his other, because they kick the baseball bats, the 100-man kumite. I love them all. I'm not going to be able to find one. I love almost all of them. I'm not going to tell you what my least favorite is. We'll keep that out of this video. All right, from here, I've got a short list of ones that anything having a death touch, any kind of dim mock fakery, I am not a fan of. So we'll put that at the top of the list. I think most of us can agree that all that stuff is fake. And if you haven't figured it out yet, it's fake. There's no such thing as a death touch. There's no such thing as I'm going to throw my energy, you're across the room. That works in Star Wars with the lightning coming out of the hands or the force powers. That doesn't work in real life. If you run into somebody who's trying to sell you on that, walk away. There's just a bunch of, it's just a bunch of fake stuff, right? Yeah, exactly. All right, so from here, I have a thrust, and then I'm gonna come straight to my shoulder, and I want you on your shoulder with your cane so that you keep it tight. We're gonna build good habits for self-defense. From here, I'm gonna strike through, bring it to the other, and add number 3, strike through. So from here, thrust, strike, strike, then add number 4, which is a horizontal strike coming from the same side of the body. This is my right hand, right to left, the palm is facing the sky, right to left. This is number 4, right to left. Number 5 is going to be the opposite. Palm faces the ground, and the palm is important because when it runs into resistance, meaning their body for self-defense, it's going to push into the web. If it's in the wrong position, it's going to peel out of your hand, then you're in trouble. So let's build it. From the beginning, put your weight on it, step in or back into a better position, thrust, same shoulder, down, angular strike to the other shoulder, angular strike, and then, oh, I forgot, I jumped forward, 4 and 5, scratch those, back up a little bit. I want you to come up for 4 and 5, and then we'll make this 6 and 7. So, like I said before, I make a lot of mistakes. I'm glad you're still with me though, because we're gonna make them together, and we're both gonna get better. Thrust, shoulder down, palm faces the sky, up, up, and then through the middle and back, and then straight down on top of their head. Let's count these out. Get in a better position. This is 1 from the shoulder down. That's 2, shoulder down 3, palm up. Remember, we want to run into the web of the hand, and if you bring it the wrong way, again, it's going to create tension there. It's going to pop out of your fingers. So palm faces up, palm faces up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to move this back because I keep running into it. I only have it there so I can show you how to hit it. From here, thrust, shoulder down, hip to the shoulder, up, hip to the shoulder, opposite side, coming through, coming back, and then straight down the middle, right into their operating system. And we're going to start to think in terms of targets, because this is self-defense. This is not just martial arts. This is self-defense application of some martial arts techniques, but it's self-defense principles. So when you do that, you're going to start to think of target acquisition. Anybody who follows Tim Larkin, who's I think one of the gurus, Tim Larkin and Tony Blauer, the top guys in practical what works self-defense, talk about target acquisition. What can you remove or destroy? The ability to see, breathe temporarily, breathe permanently, grab, walk, move, You're going to remove those abilities. You're going to destroy them. Eyesight, nose, teeth down their throat, permanent death, right? For self-defense. Breaking the joints, breaking the arm with this hard oak. And with this oak, this is going to break bones. There's a saying in Filipino martial arts that wood seeks bone, meaning that this heavy piece of oak is going to go through all that flesh. It's going to compress it and actually burst it up. You can cause contusions, bruises. But inside, it's going to hit that thin bone, boom, snap. Or go for the joint, destroy the joint. They can't grab, they can't do anything anymore with that hand. They can't stab you with that hand. So we're going to be very effective when we talk self-defense. And now we're going to go in terms of targets. But it's all about these 7 or 10 basic strikes. So cane self-defense, using the cane for self-defense, whether you're using a Cane Master's cane. I love the Cane Master's cane. Again, look below. Go to that website, learn about the Cane Master's cane, see if it's a good fit. If not, find what works for you, get in a better position. This thrust, that's eyes. Think eyes, teeth, nose, throat, solar plexus, groin. Maybe it's that vicious dog that's running around mauling people or it's coming after you. Stick it in its mouth. Let them have the cane. Chew and fight the cane just like you would play with a rag, and then he's not going to go for you, right? Stick that in his mouth. From here, this is 1, eyes. Shoulder, 2, temple. Shoulder, 3, temple. Coming up, ribs or wrist or arm or elbow. 4, and then on the other side, ribs, 5. And then coming straight across, think that upper arm or the ribs or the neck or the head. 7, the other side, right? 8, straight down on top. And then I want you to grab it with 2 hands and pull it straight into your body. You're going to go straight in to their teeth, nose, eyes, throat with this bar of oak, this hard bar of oak that's not going to flex. It's going to putting your hands together. You've closed the circuit. You now have 10 times more. I don't know if it's 10 times. I'm just exaggerating. It's a lot more. It's exponentially stronger when you put both hands here. Yeah, smash that collarbone, but straight in to knock them off. And then from here, I want you to step to one side and finish to the other side. And let's count that and make sure that's 10. So from here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we'll call this 10. We'll call it side to side, 2 for 1. We're only going to count it as 1. Or we'll say you got a bonus 11, 12. If you want to make it even more effective and you want to get better mobility, step behind you and strike. Step behind you. Notice I'm looking first and strike. That's a couple of bonus strikes, right? From here, from the basic position, get in a better position. 1, 2, 3, cane self-defense, 10 basic strikes. Coming through the middle, smashing, turn off the operating system, straight through the teeth, break the ribs, into the solar plexus or the groin, into the solar plexus or that dog's snout, right? As he starts to try to grab you, stick that in his mouth. Instead, let him go for that instead of your skin, your flesh. Again, from here, put it in the other hand, do both sides equally, and I want to pay attention to number 2 and 3. 1 is the thrust. From here, bring it to the shoulder. This is the one thing that when I work with people, I see is the biggest challenge. These angular strikes are too wide and they're ineffective for a lot of different reasons. Reach is all wrong, targeting is wrong, but the reason they're so wide has to do with weakness in the shoulder. You're gonna fix it from the start. From here, you're gonna go straight in, you're gonna bring it to your shoulder. Now, instead of swinging from my shoulder from here, which is weak on a lot of people, I'm now pushing with my forearm and my wrist. See how I'm accelerating that? And my upper body is turning. I'm very strong in my belly and back. Now, and the other thing is, it's between me and you the whole time. From here, it's out of range, 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 and then it hits. If they're closing the gap instinctively, they're going to jump in. They're closing the distance. You're not even going to hit them with it. You're going to wrap your arm around the back of them. If it's coming from here, they're closing that distance. You're going to hit them with it because it's between you and them the entire time. It's between you and them through that whole strike. And again, it's this joint and not this weak joint. It's a stronger joint and this stronger joint, and it's coming through. So from here, one more time, we're gonna get in a better position. Thrust, 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Grab it. 9, 10. These are all 10. Well, that's 10, 11, 12, 13. Bonus strikes, whatever you want to call them. I want to always over deliver if I can, right? But what I want you to do, practice on both sides over and over again until you're breaking a sweat. Put it in the other hand. From here, thrust, temple, ribs, neck, or temple. Turn off their operating system again. And then right in the forehead. And then throat or face, mouth, nose, whatever it is. Ribs, stomach, groin, and then do it again. And these are all basic strikes using the length of the cane. The next time we work together, I'm gonna show you how to use that big old tooth, that hard piece of oak tooth that's gonna rip skin off of their face for self-defense. Neck, slide through and just do some damage in those for self-defense. Get that in the rib cage, right? Get that in the hip, get that between the legs for self-defense. I'm gonna show you how to use this as the hammer that it is. We'll do a little bit of Irish stick fighting, right? I'll show you how to do some basic Irish stick fighting, fast, effective domination of your opponent for self-defense. And I'll show you how to change the hook around into a more ergonomic position, thrust up the middle, thrust through here, smashing here, bringing it back down there with that hammer again. I always like to think of that as the hammer or just a big fist coming through for self-defense. But let's finish by reviewing the basic strikes in this cane self-defense video. And again, I gotta make a plug for it because this is my favorite product. Go to below to the first link, and the second link's for bands, resistance bands. You wanna get resistance bands, we're gonna hook them onto the cane. I'm gonna show you how to get stronger strikes. But to finish, I put my weight on it, one arm first, better position, thrust, angle down, angle up, horizontal, vertical, two-handed, pushing, striking to the side. I like to think of this as a bayonet attack and a rifle butt strike. Bayonet attack, rifle butt strike. Always look first, put it in the other hand, get in that better position, thrust, angle 1, angle 2, coming up, across, coming back, straight down the middle from the chest, and always from the chest. Get in the habit of bringing it all the way in, get all that tension there. This is also gonna help with your strength, mobility, flexibility, all the things you need. Endurance as you age, striking here, and then push. When you push to the side, let me see how far back I can get. Hold on, I'm gonna lower the camera because I think this is important. We gotta do this at the very end. We have to do this at the very end. We don't gotta do nothing, right? We have to do this at the very end. My feet move my body from side to side, meaning I can lean and I can push with my arms, but none of it is as powerful as stepping. So when I hit this thing, I can lean, I can push my arms, but when I step, it just takes all of my weight and puts it right through the target, concentrated there, the end of that big knuckle on this Oak Cane Masters training cane. That's all we have for today. You guys have been awesome. Thanks so much. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And leave me some comments. I've been getting some good comments on positive feedback and negative feedback. I want to see all that stuff. Let me know what you think. This is a discussion. It's not just me talking at you. I love to hear what you think and what you need to work on and what we can do together. And I'll see you guys in a little bit.